Alright guys, you know what time it is. I got my Bob Ross shirt with my Bob Ross little figure over here. Somewhere over here. So as the shirt says, no mistakes, just happy accidents. So if you do happen to make an accident, that's why we're using a pencil, just to start off, just in case. But let's get started on here. What I have is these little Funko Pop things that I just discovered that are super, super cool. I am not sponsored by them or anything. I just think they're awesome and amazing. So we're going to do kind of a cartoon little version of Bob Ross. This is definitely one of my favorite ones that they have. I love his little paintbrush that he has with a little bucket. So you can do anything you want for the background, but we're going to do just kind of like a simplified kind of face version of that. So I'm going to start it out kind of in the middle. It's probably going to be about the size of my hand, so think about that on the paper. I'm going to start out with kind of a curvy line. That's kind of his curly hair afro as we do. So kind of a little kind of bumpy line that kind of goes in the middle on there. And then a line kind of going down the side, one side, and then one on the other also. So you can do one on one side, one on the other, and that'll kind of frame in his face a little bit. And then he's got his kind of beard that goes down. So that one kind of goes at an angle. So I'm going to start that off lightly this way, and then another one kind of going this way also. And then it goes up on each side. So up this way, and then up on this side. And then that will meet in the middle, almost like, I think that's for my shapes in there. Is that like a trapezoid? It's kind of like a trapezoid shape on there. And then for the under part of his mustache, you can do another little bumpy line if you want a little bump on there. Same thing, we're going to kind of match that kind of beard shape. A line down there, line down there. And then it's really like an upside down V that's kind of stretched out, and that's for his little mouth on there if you want to put a little happy face. He's usually pretty happy. He's always in a happy mood. Bob Ross is definitely one of my favorite famous artists. Probably not just for his personality. If you don't know who Bob Ross is, or you haven't watched one of his videos, I think everybody almost knows who he is now. But you definitely got to check some of his videos. Just his personality is just infectious. It kind of bleeds onto you. You can't help but be in a good mood when you watch his stuff. I used to watch him when I was a kid. So let's get on to is go for an eye on one side and an eye on the other. So kind of a circle shape, big enough circle that you can put another little one on the inside. And these will all be colored in black. And then you can put a little one on the inside. That's kind of the highlight. It makes it look a little bit more cute and adorable. Because how can you go wrong with this? I mean, he is pretty cute and adorable. Next part, he's got a little bit of a nose, not much of one, but we're just going to have kind of a line that kind of goes up, and another line that kind of goes up from there. And then his eyebrow has kind of a line, and then another line, almost a little bit of a curve on there. Same thing on the other side. You can kind of follow that same pattern. And then I kind of almost like I do a bubble or a block letter, except it goes a little bit more to a point on the outside. Eyebrows kind of are smaller on the outside, and they get a little bit bigger, especially for guys. On there. All right. Part. We get this kind of afro on there. So really from the bottom on here, kind of little bumpy lines will go all the way around. Little bumpy lines over here. So that kind of follows right on here. And then they get a little bit bigger as it comes kind of around for the rest of his hair. So that's going to kind of go a little bit bigger. So those can go a little bit bigger. And then it's really like a circle. So if you want to kind of match out that kind of circle first, and then you can do your bumpy lines that kind of meet on there. He looks pretty cool. I like that. So I'm going to go over this in Sharpie, and then I'm going to add some cool stuff in the background. That's really about it for this design. It's pretty easy, simple one. I want to kind of simplify it a little bit. But after you color this in Sharpie, it'll look a little bit more realistic. And then he put some of his features. I'm probably definitely thinking his paintbrush, because he always has his paintbrush in it. He usually has a little paint palette, so I might do that. And I might even do a little scene, because he was really, really famous for his landscapes and his pictures outside. He really, really loved those happy trees, clouds, and mountains in there. So let's go through that real quick. Fun little Bob Ross fact as I'm kind of coloring the silver on here. The brush that he used, people would always, I guess, ask him a question of where he gets his brush, if they're kind of special magic brushes that he uses. But they were just regular brushes from the store, but they colored them in black. I guess people couldn't find black ones, but black because it was silver and it would reflect on the TV show when he did it. So he just kind of put black paint on it or duct tape around it, so it would show up, or it wouldn't show up as reflective. So a little fun fact as I'm adding silver on here. Kids in my class always ask for silver. If they can find a silver, sometimes I just tell them to use a pencil, because pencil is kind of silver on there. So let's keep on going. I like my little happy tree, since he did like happy trees. Still thinking about what I'm going to do in the background. As cool as it looks just like this, I can't just leave all that white on there, so I'm going to come up with something cool. So let's go through that real quick. Now I'm going to give this a little Bob Ross feel. I'm going to start out with white, and like I said, I don't really have it planned out. He never really planned things out. He kind of just went with the flow. If he made a little mistake, like he always said, it's just a happy accident. You kind of go from one spot into the other. So I'll probably use a couple different colors. I like using oil pastels since I don't have my paints here with me. Oil pastels blend really, really similar to paints, and I've done a couple little sunset pictures with oil pastels. So I'm going to start out with white. That's another little fun fact, that he would always cover his paper with white first so that everything would blend really, really nicely. So I think I'm going to start with a little kind of white on this little corner up in here. And then I'll throw a little yellow right by that, or right next to it. Ooh, but which one should I do? I think I'm going to do a little brighter one in that. That'll be kind of a little sunset in there. Oil pastels are really, really nice because if you use them just regular, they're almost just like a crayon kind of texture. But then as you push a little bit darker and then start to blend them into each other, they really kind of get that paint kind of quality in there. This is one of those parts where you got to make some big decisions and start thinking about where some things go. He always would talk about big decisions on an artwork, where the next piece is going to go and how it's going to go into the next and into the next. You got to start with some of those big decisions. So I'm going to do the sky up here. I'll probably have to throw a little mountain or some happy trees, maybe a little happy cloud on this side. So let's go through that really, really quick. I just want to show you kind of some of that blending. So let's go. And there it is. Can't get much better than that. I love it. Turned out fantastic. So thank you guys for viewing. As always, I am Mr. Shooty. This is my main man, Bob Ross, and we will talk to you guys later.